Hello, and welcome to my AP Human Geography review. Today we'll be doing the subject of political organization by popular demand of my class, because everyone seems to be having a lot of trouble. For anyone in my class, here are the corresponding book pages. Please excuse me if I look weird or if I talk weird. I have a stomach bug, like I just spent yesterday night barfing my guts out, so please excuse me if I'm acting kind of weird, because I am sick. But it's important to me that y'all get everything that's going on. And I'm feeling way better now. I'm not having barf today, which is obviously if I was barfing I wouldn't be on camera here, talking to y'all. So here we go. Here's going to be the start of the video. Yay for eraser. So our first topic is just going to be an introduction to political geography. And what is political geography? Well, political geography is the study of political organization, which sounds like a very confusing term. It's pretty much how are countries arranged, what shape are they in, and why. You see, a lot of the countries we know today were part of empires or kingdoms or were their own tribes. Like, for example, like Italy was part of Rome, which is an empire. But, over here in America, before the Spaniards and the English came, it was more of disjointed tribes. And that was that way in some areas of Africa as well. So in order to understand a political organization, political geography, you gotta know what politics are. And politics are the activities that govern a country, and policies that govern a country. Once again, sounds very big and confusing. At the moment, at the particular recording of this video, our president is sadly, of the United States, is sadly Donald Trump. Please, I'm trying not to think about it. But you'll see some examples concerning him because it feels like if you use current events, it makes kids understand. So, politics is like, this is our good friend, our Donald Trump with his corn hair, with his hair, and he's evil because I say so. You don't have to agree with me and my political opinions. I'm just saying I don't agree with Trump's policies. So Donald Trump, he says, I want to build a wall. Okay, so that is part of politics. That is the activity that he wants to do. But there's more to politics, especially in the United States. Politics includes like who's ruling over your country. Is it I'm just drawing a crown, but maybe it's not a crown. Maybe it's a president. Maybe it's just a board of people. Maybe you're an anarchy. It can include what the laws are. Is there a Congress? What are the jobs? What are their opinions? What do they say? So that all makes up politics, which, it sounds really big and confusing, but it's not, and it's something, if you have the opportunity to vote, you should vote, because it's very important that if you want to change your country, you can, you don't have to advocate. The easiest thing you can do is vote. So, next thing we're going to talk about is, the idea is that countries want to control pieces of the earth for political and social gain. For example, here's a country circle. I didn't even spell circle right, and I don't care. And over here is this piece of butt-looking land. This looks like a very deformed butt. So butt land over here has this great, has a lot of stones. And the people in Circle use stones for their soup. So Circle decides to take over Buttland and make it part of Circle so that the citizens can have the delicious stones. In real life, you'd think of it as, countries. We have the opposite happening where there are certain, there's people in the Middle East who want to break away from their countries, but they don't want to because those places have oil. And oil kind of makes like a tiny bit of money, just a little bit. Oil is really, really valuable. If a place has oil, you want to keep it. You obviously don't want to let it go. So our second topic for the day is boundaries. Well, what are boundaries? Boundaries, there seems to be this misconception, like when there's a boundary, you're gonna get like a giant, wall here. No, that's not how boundaries work. Boundaries are invisible. They are invisible lines. There's, the earth wasn't created with boundaries. That's not how it works. Or, you know, what government is going to pay the money to put, you know, a wall. Oh, wait, never mind. Okay, let's ignore the very depressing state of my country right now and continue. What a boundary also means is here we have the queen, because hashtag girl power, our friend, the queen of Animu. That's me, Sailor Moon. I want to be Sailor Moon when I grow up, so then I can, you know, fail school and still become highly successful. So, Sailor Moon, Queen Sailor Moon over here. She is the ruler of girl. But, you know, she wants to make laws in the country of boy, which is ruled by, Goku! But, you know, she can't do that, because there's a boundary right here. And, you know, she can't do what she wants in boy, because she's the ruler of girl. That's not how ruling a country works. You know, imagine if the United States went smack dab into Canada and said, okay, Canada, you're gonna pass this law right now. You know, you can't do that. Canada's its own country. Canada can do what it wants. And there's two types of, and now, for a long time there were no boundaries. There were frontiers, and once again, frontiers, very confusing for people. So imagine this. Here's country A, and here's country B. This is what we could consider our frontier. It's like no man's land. You know, it's like there's no really, this is, actually that's not the best way to describe it. If this is country, oh god, the eraser kind of flew. So if this is country A, and this is country B, this is no man's land. This is a frontier. Nowadays, there are little to no frontiers, with the exception being deserts, because, you know, when no one really lives out there, there's no advantage to claiming it. So, we have two types of boundaries. The first one is physical. Physical is like your oceans, you know? You can't exactly cross an ocean. Your rivers, your mountains, your deserts. I'm just gonna draw wind, because a desert would look exactly like the ocean. So here's an example of something called the median line principle. This really tends to trip people up, and I'm gonna use a real life example for this. So over here we have the state I live in, which is Texas. Now over here we have our friend Mexico. And we are separated by the Rio Grande. Once again, Rio Grande. What happens is smack dab in the Rio Grande. So you see this part of the river is still part of Texas. It's still part of the United States. But this part of the river, it's still part of Mexico. You know, Mexico doesn't own the whole Rio Grande. The United States doesn't own the whole Rio Grande. It's, you know, you can still go in the river, and it's still, you know, you can swim down there. I'm not sure how clean it is, though. Please don't take my word for it. So the second type of boundary is a cultural boundary. You know, this happens in Europe, where you're separated by, you know, the language you speak. Maybe this person speaks squiggle and this person speaks circle. Well, they might live in two different countries, so they can't understand each other. This person speaks sparkle, sparkle. This person now speaks sparkle, and this person speaks squiggle, sparkle. That's now a word now, guys. Go home. You know, you can tell your parents I learned that sparkle was a word. You know, let's get that in the dictionary. It means a sparkly circle. Hashtag sparkle for the win. So, cultural boundaries can also be by religion. You know, let's say this place over here, they believe that Jesus is our savior. But over here, they don't believe that. They don't like religion, period. Nothing wrong with that, but that's somehow, you know, that was the case in India, where they divided it up. You have the Pakistan and Bangladesh for the Muslims, and India for the Buddhists. Once again, religion doesn't matter. None of that should really matter, but it does. That's just where we are as a society, and hopefully, you know, 50 years from now, or 25 years from now, or 100 years from now, people of all orientations and races and genders, etc., will be accepted. So if you're watching this video and the year is like 2050, please understand it was a different time. And, you know, even 50 years ago was a completely different time. And it's great. We've made a lot of progress as a society. So, we also need to talk about, Shock friend. My friend, Mr. Chalk decided to not be my friend. So then another boundary we have to talk about is geometric boundaries. We're going to use our friend, the Korea. I know this isn't how Korea looks, bear with me. So over here is our good friend North Korea. Hint, they're not actually our good friend. And here's South Korea. So they just said, you know what, F it. Straight line across here, because North Korea is communist, South Korea is not communist, and they don't want to interact with each other. You know, usually geometric boundaries are placed as straight lines for a good reason. It means there's something going on in those countries that they should no longer be one country. So the next thing we need to talk about is shadow belts. No one seems to know what a shadow belt is, and I'm gonna just clarify that. It's small cultural groups who live in these isolated places because they're not tolerated in their home country. Like, here's the country of, I've already used the country marker. So here's the country of Mom. And it's full of moms, right? Here are our moms. Yay for moms. But, you know, they don't like the dogs. You know? Poor dogs. Good job. So the dogs go and live really far away up in the mountains, and they have a shadow belt because, you know, they're trying to avoid being killed by the moms down here. The moms, they come in with their knives to kill these poor dogs. Which is actually, you know, some of these cultures actually could get killed or at least face hate crimes and discrimination. You know, it can range from discrimination to if they are seen, you know, if they go down to the big area, they will be killed. So our next topic is the shapes and sizes of states. The size of states doesn't really matter. Like Britain. Britain is really small, but it ruled under a lot of land. There are these things called microstates. They're only a few square miles. Think about that. Now, there's an advantage to having a small state where you're not going to encounter as much ethnic conflicts, but having a big state can mean that you have a lot more access to resources and such. So you should note that places like Canada and Russia, no one lives in like really, really North Canada. No one lives or farms in North Russia because, you know, you can't farm. It's super cold. No one wants to live near the Arctic, so no one really lives there. Just a note. It's all down south or to the east or west. Or central, you know. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the shape of states. So, you know, our first shape is compact, like Hungary. So, here's the center of what I'm going to call stop. The country of stop. So, if you go, here's the center stop, and if you go in any direction, it's about, you know, 20 miles, give or take, from the center of stop. Now, appropriated states are compact states with an exception. For example, Thailand. So here's your country of Penn. Penn, you know, it's pretty compact, except we have a little tail coming out here. It's like a leg. It's like it has legs, and it's an evil robot coming to kill you, but it's not, okay? It's a country, not a robot. So, Penn, it has this little tail, which is the only thing that makes it not a compact state. So now we have elongated, which I find is the easiest for people to understand, like Chile. You know, it's long and narrow, but it can also be like this, you know, where it can be vertical or horizontally, where there's not much area here, but there's a bunch of area here, or, you know, it's not much area here, but a lot of area here. The next is, fragmented. U.S. is actually a fragmented state, but another, you know, we're all chilling down here, hashtag best map of the United States, and Alaska's up here, and Hawaii's down here. Now, note about all islands, especially, you know, they're gonna ask you about like Indonesia. Islands by default are fragmented because they're not. If you know, just take note. All islands are fragmented states, especially, you know, Indonesia is the most common example. So next thing is a perforated state. It's when, okay, the example is South Africa. But here's the thing. You have the country of Star. and stars completely surrounding the country of dot. So that means star is the perforated state, not dot. Star. That's a big thing people miss. So our last topic for the day is the functions of boundaries/boundary disputes. So you need to know what sovereignty is. A lot of vocabulary, I know, but if you can't understand the vocabulary, you can't understand the concept, or the vocabulary may be the concept. So sovereignty is the ability of a state to carry out its own policies freely. Once again, sounds really big and confusing, but it ain't. So let's go. Let's make the country. We're gonna have two countries here. Here's our first country, up here, the country of Heather. And Nadia is cringing right now and she's just cringing. Country of Heathers. Oh my God, I can feel the cringe already from poor Nadia. And so Heathers is shown down here. We're gonna say the president of Heathers is Veronica. Oh my God, I'm making a giant reference there. And down here we have the country of 7-Eleven, and it's ruled by this trench coat wearing guy named JD. Nadia at this point has exited out of the video and is reevaluating her life. So Veronica can do whatever she wants in Heather's country. She says, I want there to be free brownies every Friday, and even if JD doesn't like that, he can't do crap. And let's say JD has free slushies for all. Well, Veronica can't do crap about that. She can enforce, she can't say, no JD, bad, no free slushies for 7-Eleven. She doesn't care. She can't, JD doesn't care. He can do whatever he wants. It's his country. Then you need to know what nationalism is. And that's pretty simple. It's just like, pride for your country. That is literally it. It sounds super complicated, but that's it. And so we need to know about the types of disputes. So the first one is positional disputes. So it's like, where is the border? So here's our country. We're going to call it country function. Yeah, using that math vocabulary. And then over here we have the country of Bob. See, we have this whole thing right now. And functions like, this is my country. But Bob was like, no, this is my area. And that is the dispute over who owns that little piece of land. The next area of land we're going to have is territorial. It's over a piece of land. So, historical example. I don't really give a historical example. My examples are way better than history. Please don't be offended. History is the best. Go history. So here, here all this land, and this giant butt circle is owned by Hart. I would like to note that I literally get all these by looking at random things in my room, or I'm using it for examples from my fandoms because I am trash. And over here, this country is owned by Yugi country. Looks like Yagi, but it is Yugi. And so the people of Yugi just, Yugi's like, I want your country, Hart, and then they have a giant war over the land. Like the Mexican-American War was over a, territorial territorial dispute. The next thing we're gonna have is resource. It's literally what it sounds like. It's about the resources at the border. So, here's your border right here. Let's say the Rio Grande again. Here's Texas, and here's Mexico. Let's say you find somehow there's millions of gold inside the Rio Grande. Who owns the gold if it's smack dab on the middle? Or, if people from one country come into the other country. So the last kind is policies in the border area, like, just think the wall, which hopefully hasn't been built by the time you're watching this. Oh God, please. So here's our friend the wall. Trump loves the wall. Says it's amazing, but Mexico is not a fan of the wall. We have one more thing we're going to discuss in this video, and that is internal borders. It's super easy. It's like provinces in Canada, and it is states in the United States. A big thing to note The most important thing you could ever know. When human geographers refer to a state, they don't mean like Texas state. They mean a country. State and country mean the same thing, and nation does not mean country. Nation refers to like a culture. Like the Navajo Indians are a nation within the state of the United States. Well, thank you, and have a lovely day.